Okay, David, thank you for coming on. David here has got over 20 years of experience in the physical therapy space, driving referrals for himself, building businesses, and working to network in the community, provider offices, everything when it comes to driving more referrals in the physical therapy space. David, thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, today we're going to dive into healthcare marketing, but more specifically, how to go after DME practices, orthotic practices, those types of niche healthcare businesses that are maybe alternative routes to your more traditional provider based marketing. So, I want to get into maybe three ways to build, strengthen, and nurture those relationships that our physical therapists could see increased referrals from.
Definitely. They are a perfect match for what we do. It is probably an area most people don't think to deal with. But if you think about DME stores, orthotists that are making devices for the exact people we're seeing, the patients we see, both of them targeting the same audience. So they are the perfect match for you to have a relationship with, and they would benefit from knowing you probably as much as you knowing them. So that would
Perfect.
the first connection point I would say is approaching them that you have patients that need medical equipment and you want to get cards from that DME site to give out, and you're going to be sending your patients there and form that relationship. And that will very quickly win them over, I think.
100%. And I like that you went in there with the mindset of service. Always go in there looking to give before you ask. So never go into, even this goes for doctors' offices, saying, "Hey, I'm looking for X, Y, Z."
Yep.
Whenever you're in a business relationship, you always want to go into it saying, "How can I help the other person benefit first?" So I love what you said there. Go on in, talk with them about, "Hey, I have patients who are needing this specific business, whatever you're selling or whatever you got for patients." That's a really good icebreaker point.
Definitely. They can actually be a service for you as well, though, because if you do have patients that need equipment, if you have a relationship with them, I've called DMEs and told them I'm sending someone over and what it is I'm looking for if the patient can't explain it themselves, to guide them to the type of walker they need, to show them options. So it is actually a good resource for you to have as well. This isn't strictly about getting patients. End game, obviously, is that they like you, but it can be a valuable service you offer to patients, medical supply stores. And it doesn't have to even be one. If your territory is big enough, you might know two or three based on where the patient lives. So once you've established that relationship, the next step is to try to see if they'll let you leave your cards there or some form of advertisement at the checkout area. But beyond that, you're hoping that that location will actually tell patients if they ask that they know you as a good therapist, you come to the house, you can be helpful, or even just give out your information if people have questions about the equipment they just bought. You could become a resource for instructing patients in new products they get. So that's kind of a two-part answer, I think, to what you said. You said three things. I think
Yeah.
establish.
Yeah. I think it's important to know too, you don't go in one time and all of a sudden someone start referring you patients based off that. It is going in there, sending patients over the course of a month, 2 months to them and establishing trust. Like that connection doesn't just blossom from one. You go in there, say, "Hey, I got people for you." It's more one, they gotta see it. You gotta send patients to them actually. You gotta have a reason to go back on in there and say, "Hey, did Susie come in here and get her wheelchair or walker? Or I saw she got it. I saw her at the house. We were working on this, or that." That's how you then follow up on those relationships to strengthen it and nurture it. You start getting to that point where you guys are on that connection where, okay, I know Adam or Dave is my go-to person for these types of people, and they're going to help me out. I'm going to try and help them out and send people their way too. So I think that's important to note is you don't just go in there once and all of a sudden people are sending stuff your way. It's a good target though to put your effort toward and say, "Hey, I'm going to work on nurturing this and sending everyone I know to this place to then get that reciprocity back."
You also don't even know. You could stop in to introduce yourself or a follow up to the place to drop off business cards and literally get a patient while you're in the store. You
Mhm.
could be in there saying, "Hey, I came to drop off my cards. Thanks again for letting me do this." And the person next to you goes, "Oh, what do you do?" And you announce that you're a therapist that goes to people's homes, and they go, "Wow, I was actually picking up a commode for my mom. We need to get her therapy. Tell me more." So you're going to be putting yourself in a location where patients or family members of patients will find themselves. So it is literally possible to get a patient while you're there.
100%. And that was actually one of our therapists that you gave a recommendation to about the DME store. She went to a scooter place. And that business owner was actually saying, "Oh my God, I've been looking for a therapist to help me do scooter evaluations so I can get these scooters covered by Medicare." And all of a sudden, they start doing evaluations together, and he's bringing her on to all these patients and cases. And you don't know until you walk on in that you're the person that they've been missing. You are a mobile provider that goes to the home for 65 and up people. Like that is what they're looking for. And you never know what these DME providers need. They need someone out there to do evaluations for them so it can show medical necessity. Sometimes Medicare or providers won't write a signature or won't cover it unless someone like us, a physical therapist, goes in and writes a note on, yes, there is a need. And that's how you parlay those into plan of care episodes. And then you start working with that patient for a foreseeable future. But you just never know until you walk on in and focus on, yes, I'm going to try and go after this niche or this market. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think two of the best DME type relationships I've had. One was I'm a big fan of motorized lift recliner chairs, which are a big ticket item in those stores. But I found one store that actually carried used ones. They would also rent them out, obviously, and that's a good money maker for them also. And I would send people there to get those. So the store took notice of me and we talked and they really thanked me for sending people. And I let them know to, have people call me if they have questions about them, if they're trying to explain why the chair would be good for them and they wanted a therapist perspective, they could use me as a resource. But I also imagined that I was now establishing that relationship to get, potential patients out of them. And even maybe whoever came in to buy a chair that I didn't send, they would have me explain the benefits, and then they go, "You know what? Why don't you come out and, you know, show me how to use it correctly?" Or I could suggest, "Do you want me to do that?" So it's a definitely touch point with potential patients. The other aspect of DME stores that I really like is they often install grab bars in showers. And I established a relationship over 15 years ago with one grab bar installer and have sent him to probably 150 houses over the years, but he sent me patients as well when he was called out to put some grab bars in and they explained that they were having trouble. That's why they needed the grab bars. Instant patient for me. He told them, "I have a great therapist that you should have come to the house, show you how to use them correctly, and maybe help you with your balance or your walking." There's a lot of different ways to connect. It doesn't just have to be walkers or canes like we traditionally think. Patients need commodes. Patients, I've actually sent them there for compression socks, for lymphedema, for grip socks to walk in. There's a lot of different reasons you can establish a connection with a medical supply store. Even my own equipment. I've bought blood pressure cuffs there for myself when I needed a new one. And anything that gets you in the store talking to them and they see you and get to know you. And typically you would walk in scrubs, they would know your medical and they might ask what you do because I think they're on the lookout for connections also. They're trying to boost their business. So you're going to make it very easy for them. It's not going to be something where they're thinking, "Oh, another therapist coming in trying to get to push them." It's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be, "Oh, good. I need people like this. This will help my business."
Yeah.
And then it will help you.
Yeah. That's the mindset is always go in there seeing how you can help that business owner. And then once they see that, they'll in turn give it back to you. And that's where, like you said, especially if you're a lymphedema therapist, know your niche and then know your target.
Yep.
Especially if you're a lymphedema therapist, you're going to go into those places that sell those compression garments, stockings, all of that. That's your market.
Yeah.
You're just say, hey, I want to work with scooter people. You're going to go in the scooter shops. You're going to go to the motorized shops. Figure out, what maybe best serves you or what connection can be the most likely to generate the type of patients you want because we encourage you niching down and specializing. And then try and, go to Google Maps, type in, lymphedema supply stores near me. They'll pull up a whole map of everyone around you, and that's who your target is. And then you're going to make a plan to go in there and start looking to send patients there or create that relationship that you can then build and nurture on.
Yeah. With lymphedema, I really am a fan of Velcro compression system. rather than typical compression stockings. And I've gotten a lot of stores around here to start carrying them more, and they know it's a moneymaker for them and suggested the brands. So those conversations are very easy to have. And they're fascinated to talk to a lymphedema therapist who knows a lot about this stuff and can help them to order the right things that they will sell versus
Hmm.
ordering lots of stuff they don't. Also, I guess a third point, you said you wanted three, is you can let these DME companies know you can do home safety evaluations,
Correct. Yeah.
pushed in assisted livings or independent livings. But when a customer comes in and doesn't know what they need, you could be the person that gets sent out. And, if they have Medicare, it could be done under the auspice of an evaluation, but you could really go to their house and assess all the equipment needs they have, what safety stuff they need, whether it's grab bars, a commode, different walking devices,
Hmm.
a lot of different things that, they provide, grip mats for the bathroom. There's just lots of options. Even some DMEs offer the option of raising the shower floor with, installed either plastic pieces or waterproofed wood to make a pallet to lift it up. These are all things that can help people a lot, and you can be the way that happens for the DME company, that you are sent out on Medicare's, dime to do the evaluation and to assess them for PT, but lead to that customer buying a lot of products.
Great. Perfect. I think we'll wrap it up there. Awesome conversation, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.